Hi everyone, Jill here with my next video. It's a Saturday morning. I have really nothing planned today except for some play and hopefully an art video. I have no air today. Spring seems to have arrived and I've had some serious breathing issues this week. So I hope this goes okay. And if you're annoyed by my lack of air and my sniffling and breathing, turn off the volume. Maybe watch it on your own form of speed video. I don't know what to say. But I'm in the mood to chat. I just don't, pardon me, have the air to chat. It's really sad. I hope they fix my breathing issues soon, or at least give me a treatment that gets it under control. So, my last video was this girl that I used my magicals and my iridescent medium, and I wanted to tell a little story about how I came by these magicals. I went with my good friend Jill, Jill. We went to the Reading Stamp Festival. This was maybe 2 years ago. I don't know, Jill. Time goes by, doesn't it? Was it 2 or 3 years ago? We really had fun. We saw things at the Stamp Festival. We had fun at the festival. We saw things that you don't normally get to see in person. I understand you most often have to order these online, but they had a booth and they had all of these magicals. I was not familiar with what they were. I had no idea. I didn't know what brushos were either. But my friend Jill keeps up with new items much better than I do, and she was excited. She bought a set, I bought a set. We got different ones. This one is Mad Hatter, a mix of flat and shimmer, which, now that I think about it, I didn't realize that. Some are shimmer, some are flat. I'm not sure how to tell the difference. Let's look. So we have chartreuse, which is the one I used in this. I mixed it with iridescent medium. So whether it's shimmer or not, it became shimmer. I have Tweedledee denim. I had planned on using it in this and never did. I have Cheshire Cat Cherry, Teapot Purple, Mad Hatter Mint Green, and Queen of Hearts Red. I really don't know how to tell you which are shimmer and which are not. I guess I should do a swatch. But all of that aside, it was a good memory for me, that trip to the Stamp Festival. Jill, I really had fun. I know Jill watches my videos, so. Now, I tried using them, and every time I sprinkled them on a page and sprayed them with a sprayer, I ended up with clumps that didn't dissolve. It was frustrating. I don't really see the purpose of taking these and mixing them with water and turning them into watercolor. I mean, I have so many sets of watercolor, so that's why I haven't used them much. So when I did this page here, I enjoyed mixing them with the iridescent medium, but I don't see doing that too often. I would like to do more with these. So I went to, it was Michael's, looking for shakers. Apparently, nobody sells empty shakers for pigment powder. Brushos, they take the lid. I've watched so many videos trying to figure these things out. Brushos, they take the lid and they take a thumbtack and make a little hole so that they can shake a teeny bit of powder out. Nobody seems to be doing that with a Magicals lid. What they did do, though, was take a fan brush. I believe Maremi Small Art is a spokesperson for Magicals. I've watched a lot of her videos, and she takes a fan brush and dips them in these and sprinkles it on. So I think I might try that today. Here's my only fan brush I own, Robert Simmons number 4. I bought these shakers. These are glitter shakers, but look at the size of the holes. I may as well just sprinkle it with a palette knife or right out of my fingers. So these will have to be used for something else. They were only $2. I might be able to use these at work as glitter shakers. So let me put those aside. So in that video, I used the chartreuse. I think I'm going to stick today to Tweedledee Denim and Chartreuse on this page. So let me put these aside. Now, I also am in love lately with this fountain pen ink, Emerald de Chavour. It's a green iridescent. See the shimmer in the bottom? I need to shake it to get that iridescent. I would like to try and use this today. I don't know why. I also, since I used this cardboard, see it was a pen box, a pen came in there. I used it here, so I would like to use it a little bit over here. So let me get started. I really don't know where I'm going. When I made that video, I used my extra iridescent medium mixed with the chartreuse. I used it up over here to get rid of it. And I've been looking, I did several more pages in this book since, but I've been looking at this page wondering now, what am I going to do with this page? I had hoped to do a page with no face. And I have to admit, I get caught when I'm planning on a video, like thinking I have to have a plan. And I kept feeling like this panic. What am I going to do with this page if I don't put a face on there? Pardon me. Unfortunately, I did sketch a face. For those of you who don't do faces, I promise I'm going to do a video soon without a face. I have done videos before without faces. But for some reason, I felt the need to put a face on here. And she's got this big flower here on the top. I intend to use this stencil for a texture background so that when I use my magicals on top, I can spritz them and maybe they'll move and flow around the texture background. But first let me start with, for a little cohesiveness between this page and this, which, I don't know, does that really matter? I'm going to use, again, my turquoise craft paint. Put a little bit out on this scrap paper. Now see, right now, I'm not having too many air problems. I hope it's okay. Let me put down some of these. Doesn't have to be perfect. Cool. This will show through, I hope. I don't want to use gloss medium for my texture. I'm going to try and use those blended fibers that I talked about in the last video but didn't use. Just to use another supply that's sitting there unused for a long time. Now, did those go? Yes. They went right over the texture medium. Good. The iridescent medium. Okay, so these lines are white. These are turquoise. That works. 1, 2, I need one more. I'm going to go right here. Just a little hint. Okay. Now I put out way too much paint. I don't know if you can see it over here. So let me try and use some of that paint up. I'm just going to dab. Oh, got some on the other page already. Pretty soon here, I'm going to stop the video. This next part's going to be messy. So I'm going to stop the video and cover up the rest of my journal, so I don't ruin the previous pages. But I'm on a roll now. I can't seem to stop. Okay, there's not much of this paint left. All right, I'm going to go to here and use this paint up. I don't know what it'll be, but I just hate to leave any paint unused. You can see I started a sketch here. It's just a preliminary sketch I started this morning. It's going to be kind of a 20s girl with like a flapper. Okay, I'm back, and I'm going to share with you a hard lesson learned. I make all of these videos with an iPhone. If any of you are considering making videos, give it a try. You don't have to post it. Just take your phone. It doesn't have to be an iPhone. It can be an Android. Just make a video. See how it turns out. Listen to yourself. See your own art. It's really interesting and really fun. So I use my iPhone in a selfie stick over my shoulder, taped to a tripod. Nothing fancy. Maybe someday I will have a fancy video camera. I don't know. I used to always put my phone in airplane mode, but nothing really ever happened. I don't know. So I'm making my video today. I'm chatting along, I'm moving along, and I heard a call coming in, and I ignored it. It was just a buzzing, and I thought, oh, I hope my viewers can't hear that. Well, I didn't know that that call shut my video down. So you missed a whole section, and there's no going back. I apologize. Like I said, a hard lesson learned. Right now, my phone is on airplane mode. No calls can come in. The part you missed was this stencil with my blended fibers, which is a nice texture medium. I should probably smooth that out, huh? I used this and a palette knife. I scooped it out, and I put the blended fibers on here. I wanted nice texture. Now, I may have made a mistake. Maybe I should have used gloss gel to create a nice resist, because I want to use the magicals on top now, but the blended fibers may absorb them. Who knows? This is all a grand experiment. So let me see. Can you see all that texture on there? I went all over. I went into her face, here and here. That picked up a little bit of the blue from somewhere, who knows where. I can feel texture here, all the way up into here, over here. So I apologize. You missed that part. While I was letting that dry, and I admit I used a little bit of a heat gun on it, I covered this side with a piece of deli paper and washi tape, just to protect that page and the rest of my journal, because I hope to get messy here. This side as well. Oh, the washi tape wants to pop off. And like I said before, I have to use this clip to hold this journal open. So, I think this is dry enough to move on. Let me straighten up a little here. Now, I'm going to move on to this denim blue. Let's see what happens. I have a mister. Now, this is not a super fine mister. I probably should use like a Tim Holtz mister if I want something finer. Not going to worry about it. This is what I have handy. It's filled with distilled water. My fan brush. And let's see. I'm going to put some water on first. Right there. I'm going to tap into my... Ooh, that's a lot. Wow. Okay. Look how clean my brush is. It all came off. There's nothing there. I'm going to add a little more water. That's a bit much. Let's see if I can get it to move around. I want... Ooh, I'm going to just use my finger. Wow. Talk about intense. There's a learning curve for you, huh? That little dip of my fan brush was enough for... That is not what I intended. But it's okay, isn't it? I wanted these, let me get a towel. These magicals, a little staining on my finger, I'm not worried about it. These magicals create like a starburst effect when they're not completely mixed with water, and you can see a little bit of that red there, but I didn't get much. So what do I do now? I'm going to put the denim blue away. And I want to bring back in some of the chartreuse. So I'm going to try and use less. Let's put a little water right there. How can I get less? Huh. Can you see how much is on there? Like nothing. A little more. Let's put some water up here. It's tricky to get. I put a tiny bit on there, but if I tap it, it all comes off. So, let's see. A little teeny bit. Okay, so there's a little bit up here. I think I want a little more of this chartreuse into the blue. Now see, the pigment dropped, but it's really not spreading. I'm going to take a brush, just a round brush, see if I can move some of that around. I wouldn't mind. So this is a wet brush. Let me dip it into my Magicals. And bring a little bit of that into her face. I want a little more down here to bring up this texture. I don't know. What do you think? It's interesting. Let's bring some more of this chartreuse up here into this blue. Now look, it all came down in one clump. That's not really what I'm looking for. See if I can spread it around. I am getting some interesting color variations. Now, I really need a palette. Hold on while I get a palette. I'm going to leave the chartreuse and the blue denim open because hopefully and I want to use this on the girl's face. Hold on. Okay, so I have this cheapy palette and I have denim blue, chartreuse. Let's do this. And I want to mix up, well, I might use that last, so let's not mix it up yet. Over here, there's more texture. So let's put some water down. A little bit of the chartreuse. Wet brush. A little bit of the denim blue. The denim blue is very strong. Look at that. I'm going to rinse my brush, try and soften that up a little. Use this as a shadow under her chin. Now, what they say is these Magicals dry permanent, so they should not lift and re-wet. So while they are wet, let me try and turn that into shading under her chin. So, I don't know if you can see that, but this is really beautiful. I am surprised. This is not what I expected or what I planned. And that's really cool, isn't it? I'm going to spread this blue out a little. Rinse my brush. Now, I want to do her face. Let me start with, I'm going to put some water in there. And I'm going to load my brush up with the chartreuse. I want it heavy. I'm going to mix, make sure all the pigment's mixed in. And that gives me a beautiful, you know what they say? They say you can put this right here into a little spray bottle. I'm interested in trying that. A little like Ranger Mister. And when you spray it, maybe through a stencil, it's pretty much permanent once it's dry. That is something I'm interested in. I made a whole set of acrylic sprays. I used acrylic ink and water, and they all molded. They turned completely black and nasty with this scum across the top. I was so disappointed. They're wasted. I need to throw them out. Maybe the next video, I will make some sprays out of these magicals. You can also make sprays out of Neocolor 2s. Maybe I'll make a video out of making spray inks. So I'm just kind of loosely putting in the shadows. This is just the same basics of shading a face. Nothing new. I'm not worried that it's perfect or perfectly smooth. I probably should have a bigger brush. This is a small brush. I'm starting with the green, and I'm going to move on to the denim blue next. Pretty cool. I'm liking it. Okay. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do with all of that chartreuse ink, watercolor, what would you call it, that I have there. But let's make up some blue. Why is that green? Let's try this hole. There we go. Now we have clear water. I guess a little bit of that, my finger is so stained blue. A little bit of that green pigment must have got in that well. It just shows how strong this stuff is. All right. So I'm going to load up my brush with the denim blue. Nice. Look at that nice dark blue. That page further on in my journal that I used the acrylic paint on, I'm probably going to use these up on as well. So I hope this is dry enough that I can put on the darker shade. Give her some blue eyes. Rinse out my brush. Smooth that out a little. I'm going to dry my brush off. Grab a little more of that blue. Oh, too much. Too much, but I can go back, soften it up. See? It's all good. Grab a little more blue. Put some dark into her lip line and her upper lip. It's messy, and that's okay. Right now, I had not planned this, but I am liking this dark and bold up here and the white down here. It's something I couldn't have planned. It's only found through play. And I would never have guessed that this texture of like this animal print would go so well with that flower. I was worried about the blended fibers and the way they would resist, but it's okay. They didn't completely resist. They absorbed a little bit of the color, but the paper absorbed more. So it's still a good resist, right? Okay, so she needs some dark under her chin. Really? I don't think I want to do a whole lot more on here, except I need a much darker. I'm going to try and make a super, super dark, grabbing some of that pigment with little water, so I can do the pupils in her eyes. There you go. Her nostrils. Lip line. I am okay with that. Let's take a look. Okay, I rinsed out my brush. Let me put my palette aside. Put my lid on these. I am surprised. I think I could do more with these magicals. I only used two colors. Two colors out of this whole set. I have 4 more I haven't even experimented with. And I never used this ink. Maybe the next video I will try and do a face with that ink with a brush. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to take this big clip off. That took me, sorry, that took me a while. Let's take a look. So, we have shimmer, we have texture. Now, she has texture in her face here that never even got touched. That's okay. I am really liking all of that white space. But you know what? I think I want a darker line here. So before I finish, I'm going to take, all right, I had the chartreuse, I had the accident, I had the blue, and the very, very dark blue. I'm going to take this blue, load up my brush, but take a lot of excess off. Let's see. Yeah. Now the very, very dark blue, go down here. Rinse out my brush, dab it off, most of the water's off, so I can soften that edge. Grab a little more very, very dark blue. Continue that line up. There. I'm going to add some very, very dark blue here. I have some bleeds going on, I'm okay with that. Do I? Yeah. That was very dark blue on her nose, but I'm rinsing my brush, dabbing it off, soften it up a little. Yeah. Okay. I am really pleased with this. And like I said, coming in today, I wasn't sure. Let me pull this off. My washi tape. So here are the 2 pages together. There are some elements from this page on this page. Very cool. Let me know what you think. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing more pages with these magicals. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for bearing with my technical issues, my breathing issues, and for the positive feedback I get. I get so much good vibes from your comments, from your likes, from your views. I appreciate all of you. So I hope you create today. I hope you're inspired, and I will see you in the next video.